from Variety. Marvel's big mess, Victoria Alonso's contentious exit presents a rare public drama for the studio. From box office disappointment of Quantumania to or Quadrophenia as I call it, to assault allegations against star Jonathan Majors, Marvel Studios is facing one crisis after another. And there she is. Apparently she's a woman of colour. I don't know how they work that out. I mean, yeah, she's Argentinian, but that don't make you a woman of colour, a person of colour being Argentinian. It's like calling a Spanish person a person of colour, isn't it, basically? I don't understand. Along with old glassy-eyed Kevin Feige there, Mike Mercury from Supercar, that's what he reminds me of. Anyway, right, off we go. Since 2008, Marvel Studios... Oh, what am I doing? Give up. I meant to move that over a little bit. There we go. Since 2008, Marvel Studios has been the very model of a modern mini studio. It is the very model of a modern mini studio. Sorry, that got me giddy. Chief Executive Officer Kevin Feige and his small stable of executives. What if I listen to this article? Click that, listen to this article. What if it'll sing that? But it don't. Chief Creative Officer Kevin Feige and his small stable of executives have reliably delivered an unbroken string of global blockbusters to theatres and, starting in 2021, smash TV shows for Disney+. And they've done so while keeping virtually all of their behind-the-scenes drama from spilling over into public view. You tell that to Gina Carano, but that wasn't Marvel, that was Lucasfilm, wasn't it? Which is a different kettle of fish. It took just a week for that impeccable reputation to all but collapse when Disney, Marvel's parent company, fired Feige's most high-profile lieutenant, or as we say here, lieutenant. I don't know why. I don't know why we pronounce it lieutenant. There's an F in there, is there? There isn't even a G or a H where you can get a F. English, eh? We invented a mental language. Victoria Alonso, after 17 years with the company, most recently as the president of physical, post-production, visual effects and animation. She's always been a huge part of Marvel. Former Marvel Studios executive Jeremy Latcham, Guardians of the Galaxy, told Variety on March 26th, "I was very surprised to see the news. I hope that all gets worked out, that everyone ends up friends. It's a great group of people that have always been really kind to each other. Hopefully it doesn't turn into a thing." He sounds like a nice chap, doesn't he? Alas, it already has. Sources at Disney say Alonso was fired over her decision to moonlight for Amazon Studios as a producer of the Oscar-nominated international film Argentina 1985, without notifying the company's management audit organisation, a committee that approves extracurricular business activities. For example, Disney film executive Sean Bailey got its approval to invest in Terramana, Dwayne Johnson's pizza again. Dwayne Johnson's tequila company. I haven't got a drink for myself either. Never mind. And I'm recording this as live, so I may disappear, and because I'm not going to edit it, because I can't be bothered. I'm just going to record it and upload the bugger. So there. So anyway, things became untenable, though these sources say, after Alonso continued to promote Argentina 1985 during awards season, despite signing an amended employment agreement expressly forbidding her from doing so. What you up to? Oh, I could just hear you moving about. Alonso's attorney, Patty Glazer, calls this contention absolutely ridiculous and counters that the executive was terminated when she refused to do something she believed was reprehensible, though what that was remains unclear. But apparently it's come out that she wanted, she didn't want, Disney asked her to remove certain pride flags or pride posters that were in the background. I think it was in Quantumania. They were in the background so that the film could be released in certain Middle Eastern countries, you know, where that sort of thing is against the law in those countries. And she refused, so Disney had to go like another way around. And I don't know how they couldn't just, you know, get their people to do it. Why did it have to? They had to go to another company apparently to have these posters, you know, edited out, digitally removed, I suppose. And so that's what happened. So that were reprehensible, according to Victoria Alonso, woman of colour. Representative for Marvel and Alonso declined to comment for this story, adding to the acrimony is Alonso's contention that she was silenced after a speech at the 2022 GLAAD Awards in which the executive, who is openly gay, called out Disney's then CEO Bob Chapek by name for his treatment of Florida's Don't Say Gay bill. By the way, it's called the Parental Rights Bill, not the Don't Say Gay bill. While Alonso did sit for several interviews in the months following her speech, she doesn't appear to have done any press for Black Panther Wakanda Forever, the studio's first major awards season contender since the original Black Panther, outside of the film's red carpet premiere, where she briefly spoke with Variety and other outlets. The prevailing theme of the press Alonso has done recently is her passionate belief in broadening representation at Marvel, which makes her acrimonious departure from Disney that much more notable. She's arguably the film industry's most prominent Latino executive, making a point of aligning herself with organisations at the intersection of the communities she represents, such as Reframe, the initiative founded and led by Women in Film, and the Sundance Institute to promote diversity on film sets and in executive suites. Anytime we call Victoria and ask for something, whether in her official capacity at Marvel or to participate as a mentor, she always said yes, says Women in Film CEO Kirsten Schaffer, describing Alonso as having had a profound impact on gender equity in the business. Her willingness to engage and stand up for women and other underrepresented people is unparalleled. There are very few people who do what she does. Likewise, GLAAD President and CEO Sarah Kate Ellis hails Alonso as a pioneer in the entertainment industry who advocated for the inclusion of LGBTQ people, women and people of colour, both on camera and behind the scenes. Her visibility I don't understand why she's classed as a person of colour, as a woman of colour. I don't get it. Her visibility as a top industry executive continues to call attention to the urgent need to grow diversity among leadership in studios and networks, Ellis says. Ben Lopez, who worked with Alonso when he was executive director at the National Association of Latino Independent Producers, says he wasn't surprised that Alonso used her industry clout to champion Argentina for 1985, a project about the trial of the military hunters that ruled her birthplace. It is consistent with her ethos, which is to make sure that she's always speaking for the unrepresented, for the people that can't speak for themselves, he says. I really look forward to seeing where she lands next. Whether it's a global studio or her own company, she's going to continue to innovate and be a powerful voice for underrepresented communities. But not as much as, if she was still with Marvel. But never mind, and Disney. While industry text message chains and Slack conversations have been swarming with speculation about what happened. What's Slack? I don't know. Is that like Zoom? I've no idea. About what happened and where Alonso will land next, there hasn't been a significant public uproar. I think people are nervous to rock the boat, one veteran producer speaking to Variety on the condition of anonymity surmises. Nobody wants to upset Disney. Another industry leader questioned what impact Alonso's exit could have on her forthcoming memoir, which was originally set to be published by Disney's Hyperion Avenue imprint in May. If you give someone of that calibre a platform like a book and presenting this person as a shining example where they can be used to not only make the brand look good but to also empower the next generation, you don't want that to be tarnished on the way out, the executive says. It feels inconsistent. Regardless of any possible mitigating circumstances, the veteran producer sees Disney's decision in cut and dried terms. Plenty of people in this business believe that they are indispensable and fly too close to the sun, and then are shocked to find that they are no longer in a job, this producer says. Yes, she thought she was untouchable, didn't she? They add, and nobody's untouchable, nobody. They add that while Alonso's track record is certainly extraordinary and impressive, and she's earned the right to be outspoken, I don't think anybody earns the right to breach their contract. Alonso's messy exit will be bad enough for Marvel, but it comes amid fierce headwinds from all directions. Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, with global grosses limping to the $500 million mark, is unlikely to break even in its theatrical run, making it the first non-pandemic era money loser for the company. That film was the latest in several Marvel titles, from Thor: Love and Thunder to She-Hulk: Attorney at Law to weather criticism. For second-rate visual effects, I've not seen it, but from the trailers and stuff, it just looks terrible. Just people standing in front of green screens, or, the volume. One of Alonso's key domains as VFX artists have repeatedly called out the studio, alleging it forces them to accept impossible hours and cut-rate pay. Well, that's Disney, isn't it? They did used to call it Mousevich, didn't they? Back in the olden days. Like the 70s and 80s. Meanwhile, one of Quantumania's stars, Jonathan Majors, was charged on March 26th with multiple counts of assault and harassment of an unnamed woman. The actor's lawyer says there is video evidence that exonerates him and the case is pending, but Majors' character Kang is meant to be Marvel's newest big bad. He's shot season 2 of Loki with Tom Hiddleston. Set to premiere later this year. Oh, pardon me, tell you, that beats her. And he's due to headline Avengers: The Kang Dynasty in 2025. A criminal trial of one of its newest stars is exactly the kind of headache Marvel does not need. Well, recast him then. Recast him. He's only an actor, for Christ's sake. Furthermore, Disney currently has no timetable for naming an executive or executives to take on Alonso's duties, even as several titles, like this year's The Marvels and 2024's Captain America: The New World Order, work their way through the Marvel pipeline. You stop making noises back there, eh? What you doing? Yes, what you doing? It's certainly a big position to try to replace, Latcham says. It's a really massive job. So there we go. Matt Donnelly and Mark Malkin contributed to this report. Very good. Good for them. So there we go. She shouldn't have, she got too big for her boots. I know, she had big boots. She was an important, powerful person. But she thought she was untouchable. And when corporations start losing money, they start looking for scapegoats. And she's a scapegoat that they've aimed at, I know what I mean. Anyway, so there you go. But apparently she's suing, isn't she? She's suing Disney. So that also doesn't look good for the company, does it? I expect more layoffs. Apparently Ike Perlmutter, what's his name now? Perlmutter, I don't know how to pronounce his name. He's gone, apparently, hasn't he, as well?